In the heart of an African village where the rhythm of life beats in harmony with the pulse, lived a young girl named Nola. From the moment she could walk, Nola's grandfather Baba Kofi had taught her the art of games, traditional games played by their ancestors and most importantly chess. Baba Kofi is a retired army. His service stopped after a tragic stroke and he ended up losing one of his legs, but Baba Kofi never allowed that to kill his spirit of valor and victory. Nola's mother had died immediately after she was born. And Kofi, Nola's father, never accepted Nola to be his daughter. He left Nola's mother while she was pregnant after he won a scholarship to school in the city. But Baba Kofi accepted Nola like she was his own biological daughter, and with the help of his sister Grace, he was able to take care of Nola. Kofi did not only abandon Nola, he also disowned his father because he was ashamed by his father's predicament. With each move in chess, Nola's mind grew sharper, her understanding of strategy and foresight unmatched by her peers. But it was in the village annual tournament that she now truly shone, her tactical brilliance ending her dual title of village champion year after year. As Nola grew older, her talents caught the attention of her father, a wealthy businessman in the city. Recognizing her potential, he decided to bring her to the city to live with him and her stepmother and sisters, where she would have access to better education and opportunities. But Baba Kofi refused and sent him back to the city. Nola's father pleaded with his father, but he insisted that Nola would not go with him. As Kofi realizes his father would not give way, so he comes up with a plan to manipulate Baba Kofi with Nola's future. She will be able to study and have a bright future, Papa. She already has a bright mind. Let me take her with me, he said. Baba Kofi thought about the opportunity Nola would have for a bright future, although he was worried for her. However, life in the city was not as idyllic as Nola had imagined. Her stepmother and stepsisters became jealous of her intelligence and treated her with disdain, mocking her humble beginnings in the village and calling her derogatory names like village girl. Despite their cruel treatment, Nola remained undeterred, finding solace and strength in her love for chess. It was her refuge from the harsh realities of her new life, a place where her intellect and skill were valued and respected, regardless of her background. One fateful evening, as Nola and her stepsisters returned home from a shopping trail, they were ambushed by a group of kidnappers who demanded a hefty ransom from their father in exchange for their release. Nola knew that she had to act fast if they were to escape their captors' clutches. Drawing on her years of training and her instinctive understanding of strategy, Nola challenged the kidnappers to a game of chess, a high-stake match where the winner would determine their fate. Despite their initial reluctance, the kidnappers agreed, intrigued by the prospect of a challenge. But little did they know that they were facing off against a true master, a chess prodigy whose scornful mind and quick wit would prove to be their downfall. With each move, Nola outnumbered her opponent, her mind working like a well-oiled machine as she calculated her every move with precaution. And as the game drew to a close, it became clear that Nola had emerged victorious, with strategic brilliance seeming their freedom. Defeated and humiliated, the kidnappers had no choice but to release Nola and her stepsisters, their tails between their legs as they slunk away slowly into the night. And as they made their way home, Nola knew that she owed their survival not just to her skill at chess, but to the lessons she had learned in the village. The importance of courage, determination, and never backing down in the face of adversity. From that day forward, Nola's reputation as the chess master spread far and wide, her name whispered in awe and admiration by all who heard it. But for Nola, the victory was knowing that she had used her talents for good to protect those who she loved and to bring justice to those who sought to do them harm. Nola was awarded a scholarship for her bravery and brilliance. By the time Nola was done with her studies, she became a business mogul, and a very beautiful one at that. One day, Nola got an invite to a business conference to be held by one of her competitors. Nola acknowledged the invite to be there. On the day of the conference, Nola was given the VIP treatment as she was well known. A young woman named Ajok welcomed Nola and made sure she was comfortable. Since that day, Nola and Ajok became close friends. Ajok introduced Ode to Nola as her brother and they all got along well. Suddenly, Ajok started noticing some behavioral changes in Ode in a very positive way. One evening Ode walked up to Ajok and told her he would like to meet with Nola again. What for? Ajok snapped, I knew something was up with you since you started shopping and paying more attention to your looks. Ajok said. Ode looked Ajok in the eyes and told her he has good plans. Ajok informed Nola about Ade's request to see her again. Nola had no problem with it and so Nola and Ode started getting along really well. Ode would send Nola gifts, flowers, and sometimes some money. Giving was Nola's love language and she didn't mind at all. Instead, Nola became transparent with her business dealings to Ode because she didn't see him as a competitor anymore as Ode had built a sense of oneness. Ade's charming look and the attention he gave her made Nola believe she was the luckiest in the world. She was filled with joy, hopes, and dreams. But as time went by, Ode started getting very comfortable and he developed a sense of entitlement towards Nola as she started noticing a shift in their communication because Ode barely called Nola anymore and when she reached out to him, he always had reasonable excuses of how he was busy with work. But Nola played along to understand the circumstances, but this went on for weeks until it finally dawned on Nola that Ode had dumped her. Nola's heart broke and her business started crumbling. She lost so much revenue as she was and she had a difficult time paying her staffs. She decided to see Ode so they could talk about why he suddenly wasn't interested in her and why he became so distant from her, so she could get a sense of clarity. So, Nola thought of dropping by Ade's house to see him. As she got in, she was welcomed by Ajok. As soon as Nola had explained to Ajok what was happening, Ode walked in and Ajok was very disappointed in Ode. But to her surprise, Ode defended himself and told Nola he never intended to date her, he just wanted them to be friends. Nola was embarrassed that tears flowed down her eyes. She agreed Ode was right and it was all her fault and she was left heartbroken. Her business became worse due to the emotional turmoil she was facing and she had no idea of how to handle it. Some of Nola's workers had also resigned because she couldn't pay their salaries anymore, but Nola decided to push through the phase by healing her heart instead of pretending and bearing the hurt, so she took a break from work and focused on self-care and healing. Realizing the matters of the heart is something she knew less to nothing about. It was a completely different world for her which she had decided to take her time to learn and embrace her femininity with grace and love. Soon after, Nola began to hear news about her competitor, which is the company Ode worked for, beginning to soar in sales and popularity and even took away Nola's company's position as first in the marketplace. Later on, Ajok was getting married but she hid it from Nola, but when Nola found out, Nola lost her mind realizing Ajok was Ade's fiancé all along.